closely at a train wheel. Steel wheel, steel rail, no steering linkage, and no differential. The two wheels are locked to one solid axle, so they rotate at exactly the same speed. That creates a puzzle. On a curve, the outside wheel has farther to travel. On straight track, tiny irregularities keep nudging the axle sideways. So why does it not grind a flange against the rail around every bend? The answer is visible in the wheel itself. A railway wheel tread is not perfectly flat. Its profile gives the wheelset a built-in steering effect. Each tread is slightly tapered, often simplified as two shallow cones pointing toward each other. A real railway profile is more complex than a perfect cone, but the key idea is the same. Shift the contact point across the tread and the effective rolling radius changes. One turn near the larger part covers more distance. One turn near the smaller part covers less. Because both wheels are fixed to the same axle, they cannot spin at different speeds. Instead, the pair uses two rolling circles at one rotational speed. That small geometric difference lets a rigid wheelset correct its path. Imagine the axle drifts left. The left wheel contacts the rail on the larger rolling circle while the right contacts on the smaller one. Both still make one revolution together, but the left side tries to cover more ground. That makes the axle trace a gentle curve back toward center. Drift right and the effect reverses. The result is a passive self-centering tendency created by geometry, not by a driver turning the wheels. Real wheelsets still make small lateral motions, and wheel-rail contact produces forces called creep forces. But the rolling radius difference explains the clue you can see. The tread profile is doing work. Put the same axle into a curve. The outer rail is longer, yet both wheels rotate together. As the wheelset shifts slightly outward, the outer wheel can ride on the larger effective radius and the inner wheel on the smaller one. One rotation carries the outer wheel farther, reducing the sliding and flange grinding otherwise required. On gentle curves, rolling radius difference contributes much of the steering. On tighter curves, the full story also includes bogie rotation, wheel and rail profiles, friction, creep forces, gauge, lubrication, and flange contact. So saying the flange alone steers the train misses the more interesting mechanism. Tread geometry starts the job. The flange helps near the system's limits. If more taper creates more steering, why not use extreme cones? Because the same geometry can feed a side-to-side oscillation called hunting. At higher effective conicity, a small lateral movement produces a larger rolling radius difference. Combined with speed and contact forces, the wheelset can weave instead of settling. Federal Transit Administration research associates high effective conicity with instability, poor ride, wear, component deterioration, and possible track damage. Railways therefore measure complete wheel and rail profiles, monitor lateral acceleration, reprofile wheels on lathes, grind rails, tune suspension and dampers, and manage wheel and rail as one system. Next time a train rolls past, look at the tread meeting the rail. Two wheels that cannot turn at different speeds still create different travel distances. On straight track, that geometry tends to pull the axle toward center. On a curve, it helps the outside wheel cover the longer path. When speed, wear, or the curve becomes demanding, the bogie and flange contact system do more. The wheel is not a perfect cone, the flange is not irrelevant, and no single shape prevents every problem. But the central trick is simple. Train wheels are not flat, because a small change in rolling radius can steer an entire vehicle. Subscribe for the next hidden mechanism in real footage.